with the forceful creation of Israel. So there are lots of stories and lots of resistance stories and lots of suffering, pains, and suffering of the people. And so in this series, we will have a conversation with today's writers and poet who will be telling us about her own experience of living in occupied Palestine. So let me introduce her in a short bio because we have hardly less time. So Hanan Awwad is a famous writer from Palestine. She is ambassador of International Day of Living Together in Peace, United Nations. She is the president of Palestine Center of the International Poetry Movement and the permanent member of the International Coordination Committee. Was the president of Palestine Center of International Pen, president of the International Department of the General Union of Palestinian Writers, cultural advisor of His Excellency Yasser Arafat, member of Palestine National Council, advisor of the government of Jerusalem, cultural and media advisor of the Ministry of Information, member of the Arab National Conference. And we have Tariq sir, so who is a professor of Arabic and Arabic studies and
The picture is frozen. We cannot hear, I think. Uh, Dr. Shahmenaz, there's an internet problem, I'm afraid. Hello?
Yeah, there is not a problem.
is organization, and he very
Hanan,
which
can you
include
hear
like
me?
translation of Shakespeare.
Okay, if you can hear me, then you can start.
Um,
Because Dr. Shamanaz has lost his signal.
Yeah. So tell us about your experience about the regular pains and suffering which you are undergoing in Israeli occupation.
That's me.
yes, please.
You hearing me? أولا, good evening. مرحبا. Salam alaikum to everyone, my friends. I'm so happy and honored to be with you and to listen to you and to give my address to you in such a very, very critical situation that never happened in the history. You know, we are now under genocide in Gaza and in other parts of Palestine, and we are looking for a solution, and the big powers never listen. America uses the word as she wants, and now in Lebanon, and we don't know what's the future of Gaza according to the situation that we have every day 100 people or more killing and attacked in Gaza, even the hospital, the sites, the historical sites, and the professors and doctors and the writers and the children and the women. And you can imagine the story. From where shall I start and how can I start in this work?
Um, um, let's go back in time when you were a child. Uh, what are some of the um, striking moments in your childhood about this occupation?
Well, when I grow up and when I've opened my eyes, I used, in my family and I listened to their stories and the loss of the land and the loss of hundreds of kilometers and houses and villas that gone in 1948. And always I used to sit beside my grandmother and grandfather and they give me the story, the realities, and you can imagine now the refugee camps in different parts of the world, how these people were deported, and how the lost paradise of Palestine is taken by the foreigners, by the other foreigners. So it's a very complicated story and unfair and unjust. You see that British government and the U.S. they give the occupation a golden plate, what is called Palestine, and they give it to them. And even the division resolution, they have, according to the UN, that they have to got half of the country, but now they did not stop. They are emerging in every part of the country. And there are not much left, in fact, you see. If you go to the West Bank and you see the settlement that's surrounding all the areas, Jerusalem is most of it is taken. And consider the daily imprisonment and the daily killing and the daily destruction. This is the story of of Palestine. Despite all these atrocities, our people are determined to continue struggle until they achieve their victory and settle down, return the country and live like any other people in the world. It's very difficult, very complicated, as long as the US supporting Israel, sending all the arms to Israel, sending the money, and making them attack every country in the Middle East, in the Arab world, starting with Palestine and Gaza and the West Bank, going to Lebanon, going after that to Syria and to other world. They want to create a dream and put it into reality and expand in the Arab world. So nobody stopped them. The big powers do not stop them. And you see the result of ICC, and it should be implemented and achieved in reality as any other nation that they exceed the limit and make genocide to the innocent people of the world. If I want to speak about Gaza, I will not stop. It's a bleeding moments in our life. It's a mourning moments in our life. Our relatives, they gone. Many families, they're gone. Intellectuals and scholars, more than 150 scholars and university professors were killed. 25 poets and more now. They were killed. Innocent people, the children. Imagine the children in the street without shelter, without even tent, without food, or without health. All the hospitals in Gaza were attacked, and there is a lack of medicine. And we call everybody in the world about this situation. You know, the general director of the United Nations gave warning many times, and nobody listens, and nobody listens until this moment. Our people are suffering. What I saw in my childhood, when I grow up and see, I always dream of Palestine. How is Palestine? How is the sea? How are the trees? How is the people are there? Why we are left out? So this is the big question that needed to be answered.
Yes, thank you so much. Uh, that beep sound is some friends are joining. So um, you were a close friend, a young friend of Arafat, and um, would you kindly uh, mention a few things about him and the Oslo agreement, right? There was an agreement, and
Yeah.
what happened?
Yes, Arafat, President Arafat, he was committed to freedom and he want to save our people, and he is he's a symbolic person for Palestine. He did all kind of struggle to achieve justice and peace for Palestine. With all the difficulties, with all the disagreements, with all the, the attacks in different parts of the world of Palestinians and PLO, Arafat determined that it's the time for peace. And if he was another person, nobody will listen to him. Abu Ammar Yasser Arafat has a big trust in his people. We do believe what he says because he's very honest, very popular, and very sincere in his strategic plan for Palestine. We lost Palestine. This is a big question. How to get back your country? Okay, so after all the struggles, when we were in Beirut in '82, and they were in Tunisia, and they were in different parts of the Arab world, trying to raise the voice of Palestine. And I remind you, in 1974, when he stand in the United Nations and said, "Please do not make the olive branch fall down of my hand. Please find a solution to the Palestinians who were deported from their country." Until that moment of 1948, 67 war, 47 when he, in 1974 when he spoke in the United Nations, until this moment, the Palestinian people are struggling. Hundreds of resolutions in the United Nations were not implemented. So, according to the possible justice that His Excellency Yasser Arafat say he accepted the peace accord in 1993, and he called it in his own words, "This is the peace of the brave." That means, in order to achieve peace in such a very, very difficult situation, you have to be brave enough and have your confidence of your people, and you have to go ahead with it. According to the peace accord, we were supposed to declare the Palestine state in 1999, but unfortunately, they turned the peace into attacks. Even His Excellency Yasser Arafat was attacked in his compound, and he was wounded and died. And they killed Rabin at the same time. So, the man who held the peace, the olive branch, to make realities on the ground and make his people live. The result was in 2000, in the year 2000, his compound were attacked, and all the West Bank and Gaza were blocked, and many imprisonment and killing on daily basis. So the peace gone. And in addition, instead of the peace, you can imagine, and you see on daily basis what's going on in Palestine, even inside in the history of Palestine, in Gaza Strip and in the West Bank. The killing, the expansion of the settlements, attacking even the settler every day attacks the people in the villages, and they attack their plants and the olive trees, and with the guard of the occupation forces. So this is all these images in daily basis, and you can imagine how many times they attack Gaza more than 5 and 6 times. At the end was Tufan al-Aqsa, the 7th of October. If we ask why, me as a writer and my family and all the people, when we look for justice, and we do believe as writers in the absolute justice, the politician go and follow up with the possible justice. And as writers, me and Mahmoud Darwish and Edward Said, after Oslo agreement, we were shocked because Oslo doesn't give you only a little percentage of the land. That means the historic Palestine is not there in the agreement. But at the same time, we said this is what we always call for: complete freedom and absolute justice for Palestinian. But according to the situation and the balance of the nation, and to come out to a solution, we accepted finally what Yasser Arafat decided. And we worked for it, and we wrote for it, and we encouraged the people to accept this idea despite the pain of the people, the refugees in Lebanon, in Jordan, in Gaza, in the West Bank. But there was many negotiation, starting and coming to the same point. If you remember in the United Nations when Clinton was there, and in America, they tried to make cooperative and plans every year, plan. But at the end, what was the result? They want you to do not look at your country at all. Even Jerusalem is not part of Palestine. While with this disagrees with the United Nations resolution concerning Jerusalem. Jerusalem is occupied and it's considered to Palestinian, and the West Bank is occupied too. So Arafat himself felt that he was deceived, completely deceived, and right after they started the war, Sharon went to the mosque, and he knows very well what a mosque or church means for any people in the world. So he wanted to create this kind of revolution. Arafat himself called him and said, "Do not enter because it will affect every Palestinian and every person in all over the world." But he did not listen. He attacked the mosque, and he continued. And then after that, they continue, and after that, they forget completely about any peace accords, any peace agreement. They attacked His Excellency in the compound. And you can imagine, if you are the holder of peace and you are the believer of peace, you will be killed and imprisoned. So how peace can be achieved and can be realized of Palestine as long as the occupation is planning to reoccupy Palestine all again, and not only to Palestine. The plan is to expand the territories in different parts of the Arab world. The question is very, very difficult. Not very difficult because it is difficult. The difficulty comes out because the supporter of the occupation are strong and trying to rule the world. And unfortunately, even the people who disagree, they don't have the power to implement even the resolutions. Imagine how many resolutions in the shelves and in the dust of the United Nations. So the big power, if they continue like this, how whom we are going to fight, and how can we succeed to protect our people in Gaza and another part of the world? His Excellency Mahmoud Abbas, he is trying all his best. He said, "I want a public revolution, not to use any weapon." And he declared that many times, and in his address in the United Nations. Now they are attacking him too. So how to solve such a problem? We do believe as people and as writer that to steadfast and to continue our struggle to any mean that we can have according to the UN resolution that allows the people who are occupied to struggle and to defend their countries. Now, in the world, and you know how many people in the world, and they supported Palestine, many demonstration, even the young people, the intellectual, and many of the Jewish people in the U.S. and other part of the world, they completely disagree of what the occupation is doing. Netanyahu want to destroy Palestine. He doesn't want to listen to any Palestinian. And if you recall what the leaders of the Israelis said during the intifada or the war, they speak loudly without any reservation. We have to kill all the Palestinians in Gaza and make it without a people. And these big powers listen, and nothing has done towards that. And until this moment, the blood now is rivers, and there is no place to put the injured, and even the corpse of the martyrs. where can we, how can we bury them? What my words can describe? I do feel that any word that I write or any other person or writer write cannot describe the reality of what's going on in Palestine, especially in Gaza, with all the bloodshed on daily basis and every moment, and without medicine, without food. Children are naked in the streets, no shelter. Even the tent is not enough for everybody. And imagine you were living in a good house, happy with your kids and your family. Now there are many families destroyed completely. None, no any member left from the family, and some families are half of it. And this disasters. How can we find a solution for this? Who can return the souls of the children that died? Who can retain the souls of all the martyrs that were killed in Gaza and in the West Bank? So it's really a very, very difficult question to answer. We answer through, even from Jerusalem, from Palestine, from the occupied territory, that we will keep on our pledge. As Arafat said, the pledge is the pledge, and the promise is the promise. And the promise of the people, we are, innocent people, we don't have arms, but we will continue struggle in any means to achieve our goals and to achieve some kind of settlement, a victory, and live as any part of the world living.
Thank you so much. Uh, uh, to um, I want,
Tariq sir, can I ask some question from her?
but
Yeah,
just a second, please. Um, our friends here, concerned individuals from various parts of the world, maybe some of us do not know that this important conversation is being possible thanks to Nike Depina, who is the initiator, the leader of the Global Peace Let's Talk. Thanks to her and to Dr. Shamenaz in India. Uh, we owe this meeting to both of them with our dear host and dear friend, our guest and dear friend, speaker Hanan Awwad. And thanks to all. These beats annoy me. Unfortunately, I wish we could stop these sounds. Um, but yes, Dr. Shamenaz, the floor is yours. You want to ask something?
Hanan, ma'am, because you are very much senior to me, I want to ask you. There was a Palestinian resistance leader also and writer also, Ghassan Kanafani, who was murdered in Beirut by Mossad. Have you met him? Can you tell us something about uh, Ghassan Kanafani?
yes. Unfortunately, I didn't meet him, but he is very famous writer, very committed writer, very sincere writer. His writings express the images of Palestine, the images of the people, the children, the refugee camps. And he said, one of his speeches, he said, when I was writing about Palestine and about the children of Palestine and about the refugees and the injustice that all the Palestinians are living under, I thought that only I write about Palestine. But when I go deeply, I feel and I see I represent Palestine. I represent all the people who lived under such a situation. Kanafani was assassinated in Beirut because the occupation knows his word. What does it mean? He has many novels and many stories and writes and a book about the resistance. And one of his distinction in his writing, in addition to the style and the themes, he gave the image of the woman a very high standard in his writings as a symbol and as a real. He symbolized even the gun as a woman, and he described the love, the deep love between the gun and the person who hold the gun, and he called her the bride. The gun, he called her the bride, and he described, the fidai, that mean the man who struggles for Palestine, in a very beautiful images. He said, "Look at him with his khaki suit. He walks in between the sun. Around his head, you will see all these white clouds telling the story and telling the future, the enlightening future of the Palestinian people." In his novel, Saad, uh, the mother of Saad, he described a woman as reality. A real woman, at the same time, she symbolized all the struggle of the Palestinian woman in Palestine. Saad was an old woman who tried to help the Fidais, the commanders, the freedom fighters, and she took to them to take the food and the help. And the thing is, the distinction in her act, the way that Kanafani described her, he gave her this very aware personality, knows everything, try to be part of everything, to help society, to help people. Even another women from Lebanon, they were working together in one house. Then a man say to the Lebanese, "Come, I want to give you more money." And sorry, he came to Mossad and said, "I'll give you more money and you will take out the other lady." She said, "Never do that. We never accept division between the people and between the women. We all in the same path." And Mossad, she foretell us, predict the future of the revolution. And she said, "I send Saad fight for Palestine and I will be with him." And she said about the trees from one period to another period will be different. And she encouraged the fighting and the struggling of the Palestinian. And she was a great symbol of the Palestinian women that we are now follow what Ghassan Kanafani wrote in, in his novel, and how the Palestinian women in general continue to fight as writers, as a normal woman in the field, in the politics, in the state, in all aspects of life, and in the revolution itself. So Sen Kanafani left up the image of woman يعني in a higher way than it can be considered in any society. And this is very important points of his own. Then he called for revolution. One of his novels, when he say, "I'm returning to Haifa," that means he gives the hope. And one of the sentence that was very important in him said, when he gave in his story, that someone was in a tank in a car going to Kuwait to find to work and find something, and then it was so hot in the road. Then he died. Then he said, "Why don't you knock the door? Why don't you knock the door?" That means you have always to continue to raise your voice high and never stop struggle until you achieve the victory. This is a little from few, because Hassan Kanafani was one of my heroes to study, and in details of all his work. He's very important writer and a symbol of the sacrifice of the writers in our history.
Yes, thank
Hanan
you.
ma'am,
Yeah.
I have read three of his book: Men in the Sun, All That's Left to You, and The Return of Haifa. All I think they are short stories or novella, and I find one thing: they all these stories are very very depressing, having uh, all tragic ends. But if you see the writing of some of the new Palestinian women writer like Susan Abul Awa, you'll find in the end there is an optimistic attitude. Like her Morning in Jenning is about the massacre of Shabra and Shatila. She has described the massacre of Shabra and Shatila also, and also
Mm,
the massacre which happened in Jenin some 20 or more than that years back. And
yeah.
The Blue Between the Sky and Water is a very optimistic novel of Susan Abul Hawa about Gaza, which was occupied by Israel, but it regained its independence after
Um, an internet connection problem. Um,
Again.
excuse me, dear Nikki, how much time do we have? Hello? Uh, dear Nikki, how much time do we have, please? Hello?
independent.
Excuse me. Um, uh, dear Nikki, how much time do we have? Do you hear me? Um, dear
Hi,
Dr.
Nikki.
Kainat,
Nikki or
sometimes,
Dr. Sharma, are you listening us, please?
yes,
Yes.
And Mr. Thakur asking how much time we have for a meeting.
yeah, how much time do we have? I'm trying to find out so that we can make the most of the time. Um, I would like to say something, and um, I was in Tel Aviv as a theater person for a theater festival, and in 2007, um, and I was impressed by Jewish Arab um, theater company who staged a play criticizing the Israeli soldiers uh, uh, acting cruelly at checkpoint. Um, just a second. Uh, there's,
Sir,
yeah,
we can hear you. Tariq, sir, we can hear you.
you can, right?
Yes, yes.
Yes.
Please go on.
And so that was interesting. And then also in 2008, I was invited to the festival. And then one more time. And many of my friends, Jewish friends there, are against Netanyahu. I mean, all of my friends are against him and to this genocide process. I want to mention this. Now, talking about living under occupation, dear Hanan Awwad, before the PAN Congress in Oxford this year, you were harassed by the Israeli police and you were rudely stopped. Would you kindly mention that? Because it is part of your life, and it's
Yeah.
good. It will be good to know. You
Okay,
know.
I just want to comment about your visit to Tel Aviv and meet with the people. There are some people, maybe they were good, but unfortunately, during this year, we never heard. Even the people in the normal people, they spoke about slaughter the Palestinian, except like, Ilan Pape, Gideon Levy, and some others from the intellectuals who speak very well about this issue. Otherwise, you don't hear any voice, my dear Tariq, during the year. No one say no, stop. You see, even the people they start against Netanyahu for the hostages. They want him to release the hostages, but they don't want him to stop the war. So this is the question now. It's very different from what was before.
Yes.
My story was like this. I was coming from Jericho. I met with my publisher there, and he gave me few copies to take with me. And then I passed through the checkpoint. I was another member of PEN with me at that time. Then, as a sudden, they stopped the car, and we used to pass that place many times in daily basis, but they never stopped. Then they stopped. They said they asked for the ID. Okay, I give them the ID. Then say open the car. They open the car. They find the books and the picture of Mahmoud Darwish. Then the lady with the gun, she starts screaming, terror, terror, terrorist, terrorist.
Mahmud de to Mahmud Dervish. About
Yeah,
Mahmud. That
and they
story.
took it out and they stopped us more than 2 hours. And sorry, they took us to the room and asked us to bend down. Of course, I refused. Then after that, they took us to another room and start searching me, and they knocked me in the back. And the lady told me, a lady like you, a writer like you, should be dead. If I have the power, I can kill you. Okay? Then we stayed another 2 hours, and they gave us a paper to go to the police station the next day. And there was investigation, and that's still until this moment the file is open. And the thing is, I never, I was in prison many times, and we were attacked many times, but I never see such a violence like this. You know, they stand in front of me with the gun, ready to shoot. If I say any word, they will shoot me right away. And they don't listen to you. And you know that the strange thing is these books were published in Haifa. Okay? It was published in Haifa and they don't want to listen. And now they are reading the books, trying to read the books. Now they still have it. They confiscated and we're still under control. And the thing was unbelievable. I cannot even describe it. How harsh and how cruel they were and how violent they were against us. And they would say the Mahmoud Darwish is a terrorist and they break it down. Then they open the books that we put the license in. Then they find, my kafia. And they took the kafia and put it in the ground and they put their leg and shoes on it many times. And you can imagine how much insult I felt in that moment, you see. And they were bringing some words are not suitable for a writer like me to face such thing. But this is I imagine if there was a man in my place, he will be killed right away. So this is the situation. This is what you can imagine in everything, in every checkpoint, in every city, in every attack. Now it's very difficult, when Yasser Arafat wanted the peace, we wanted a normal, no, normal relationship and not like this. And how can I now? How can I imagine the peace? And what sense? In what conditions? And how can we return our security inside our side? How can we deal with the Israelis now in such a situation? It's a very hard situation. They they didn't leave any image to keep in your mind and to think about peace in the future. Despite the fact, our authority and the people always ask for just peace because there is no peace in the world without justice. But where is the justice? And who can bring back the justice? Since all the power in the hands of the U.S. and the supporter of the occupation. So this is the situation with many people. And when you travel, you are follow up, your sins are many problems. And
Yes. And here, um, before, um, I mean, I asked the friends here to make comments and ask you questions. I want
yeah,
to make the one point clear. Um, I have written a monodrama. Excuse me. Uh, I've written a monodrama in 2008 about Anna Frank. And when the first bombing started years ago, uh, excuse me, I don't, these sounds. Um, I said in Gaza, um, Anna Franks are being bombed. Uh,
mm,
and one of my uh, um, projects, let me say, is Anna Frank being performed by a Palestinian Arab girl in Gaza. I want to mention this.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
And now, uh, any questions to Hanan Awwad? Um, yes, I'm trying to mute. Yeah, okay. Yes. Uh, dear Nikki, how much time do we have? Would you please,
Until the morning.
because there's
Now
another
we've got 20 more minutes. We've got
20.
20
Till
more
the
minutes.
morning,
Okay,
yeah,
Yeah.
thank
until
you
the
so much.
morning.
Thank you so much. Um, uh, dear Nikki Depina, would you kindly say something or ask a question to Hanan Awad? You are the leader of this wonderful initiative, Global Peace. Let's talk. Please.
Uh, It's very difficult for me to talk after listening to Hanan. And I don't know what to tell you, but I want you to know this, that we love you and
Love
that
you
we
too.
are deeply, deeply concerned about the situation. We don't know what to do. If you have any advice for us that we need to do more of something, you need to tell me that. But what I'm asking you, please, if you have contact with families in Gaza right now, send them a message and tell them we are not forgetting about them, that we love them, and that we want to send prayers and blessings for this war to end. You know what I love the most? All these news channels, and they're showing the conflict in Gaza. But what I am seeing is how the children are still smiling, even although there's no food and no water, no nothing.
Yeah,
They're
yeah,
smiling. They've got these little happy faces.
yeah,
And then the fathers that break down with the women that are dying. I have such a powerful love for the men in that country, that they're showing such love and compassion. And for the doctors that are there, that
yeah,
are having this incredible suffering, they don't know which direction to take. There's just pools of blood everywhere. If you can get a message to any one of them, you need to tell them that we love them. We don't know what to do, but we're not going to stop being a voice for this conflict to end. We are not going to stop. I have Rana here. Rana will say hello to you in a minute. And Rana's in London creating all these marches to free Palestine. We are not agreeing with anything. It's wrong. It's just so wrong. But please, Anand, my love for you for being with us today, for sharing some of the story with us. But if you can get any messages, you need to tell them that we care about them, we love them, we want to be able to do more, but they mustn't give up. That's the biggest thing. I don't know how they're managing because they've
Yeah.
got no roof, no food, no water, no nothing. But those little children don't stop smiling. And we need to use that in all of our communication to stop the war. That's what we need to do.
Yes.
So, Hanan, please know this.
Habibti, I know that. Thank you so much, Nikki, and to everyone. Your words, moved my heart, and I know that you are stand firm with us, and we do hope that justice can flourish in Gaza. And the children, as you said, not only the children, even the women. The doctor in the hospital, he wanted to take, when they bring him the martyrs, and he come and took a child, but he was shocked because the child was his son. It happens many times. The woman, she lost three or four sons, then she stand up and said, we will keep on. We don't, whatever we sacrifice, we will keep on. And if you see them, I see maybe we are not the same like them. They are really very steadfast and very strong and very powerful and believe in their work and believe that they have to struggle until victory. They are very distinguished. And Yasser Arafat, he used to say about them always. He used to like to stay more time in Gaza. And they said in Arabic, I don't know what is the English, Shab al Jabbareen, that they are the people of the strongest. Maybe this is little close to the meaning, but it's not the same. Or the giant people. Okay, so they are very patient until now, and continue. Imagine the question here is very big. You have party and you have state, not only state but state, United States. Not only United States with the United States, and they all send weapons and assistance and money. And some people, in Gaza, few people are using very simple weapons and fighting a big state. And this is unusual in the history of wars. And it will be a school of thought. It will be studied in the military universities. It's unusual. It is very strange. It is exceptional. Exceptional that you cannot imagine how these people, with all the determination, they fight and struggle. And when somebody got martyred or died, they continue right away. And you see what the occupation has done. They killed all the leaders of Hamas. They Ismail Haniya and Sunwar, and the things are continue as if nothing happens in this world. The same in the south of Lebanon. Because like even the poet, one of the Palestinian poets, Abu Salma, said, there is no people will be liberated until he works for the liberation. And that's what the Palestinians are doing in Gaza. And he said, one of his verses said, tomorrow we will return to Palestine. Tomorrow we will return to Palestine, and all the universe will listen to the strides of our returning. So these, even the songs, the national songs now and the poetry, the resistance poetry. I write every day, every 2 days, a resistant poet about Gaza and about what's going on and criticism of the silence of the big power and the big leaders. This can give us motive, but at the same time, it's very sad. It's a mourning time. We lose everyday people. How can we return back the soul of all these people in
Yeah,
Gaza and in all Palestine? Thank
true.
you.
Among us, I know a few friends, Dr. Franca Colosso and dear Burkhard Herbote in Deutschland, and other friends. I want to mention that Dr. Shahmenaz prepared an important book about including Palestinian authors, right, Doctor?
It is an edited book, Exile and Resistance in Palestinian Literature.
Yeah. This I
Mhm.
want
This
to mention that, and uh, bef- bef- um, one of the important things I think is secular democratic values. Without
Mhm.
secular vision, religious dogmatic powers um, everywhere in the world, they bring nothing but more problems. Um, Arafat was the symbol, is the symbol of a secular movement. But his movement, your movement, was um, weakened um, by the United States. I want to mention this. And the United States supported the jihadists all over the world in the Middle East, hoping that those jihadists would function on behalf of the United States. That has terribly,
That's true. Yeah.
that has been evil. I want to mention this as well too, to
Yes.
record
Yes.
it. So uh, hate and more violence, violence to violence. I'm not, I'm not saying I think that self-defense is a right, and so the Palestinian people are using their self-defense. That's another issue. But I hope secular attitude, secular and human rights values dominate all the societies. I want to make this wish. And then, um, Dr. Franca Coloso, I know you write many poems you have written about Palestine. Would you like to say something or make a comment or ask something?
Just give me a moment to comment on what you said.
Oh, yes, please. Sorry.
Can I?
Feel
Yeah.
free.
Well, democracy is very important, and we secure a state of Palestine with many parties. Yani all the parties are part of the state, but at the same, at the same time, they are controlled by the state. In Palestine, I must tell you, we don't have fanatic religion, nothing. We are very secular, and even no, you never see in Palestine there is a fight between Christian and Muslim or any other religion. So this is our country. But I must tell you frankly, in this war, all these meanings, what is democracy? What is human rights? What all these things can do? So it appears that we all, not only Palestine, we all were deceived by all the history of human rights and defense and human dignity. And then when they are killing every day hundreds of people, where is the human right? Where is
No,
the
I know.
democracy? What kind of
I know.
democracy? It's more than dictatorial of crimes,
Yes.
heinous crimes against children, against humanity. I
I,
think the world
yeah.
and even the United Nations has to be changed. The Security Council has to work to negate the vote of the US that stop and block every decision for all the nations. So lots of things has to be done. If all these things has be done, if justice flourish not only in Palestine and many parts of the world, I think we can say there is a democracy. But unfortunately, no democracy. In Palestine, maybe it's the best democracy you find it because we never have any fanatic religion. And so even Hamas, when they fight, not for fanaticism religion, they fight for Palestine liberation because we lost Palestine since 1948. And our laws and constitution, which will appear, has right to all parties, to all the women and men and everything. Inshallah, we hope when Palestine state will be declared, you will see how our laws and by laws and constitution will appear.
Thank you so much. Thank you so
Uh,
much.
Tariq sir, I want to ask something from Hanan ma'am. Sir, as sir was talking about secularism, sir, whenever Muslim have conquest, have won Jerusalem, they have brought secularism, whether it was Khalid Umar or Sultan Salahuddin. Hanan, ma'am, can you throw light on Umar Pact? Because in Jerusalem there is the most ancient church which whose keys are with the Muslim family. So, in case of this history, if we take out the history of Jerusalem or Palestine, whenever Muslim have ruled, they have brought secularism. And the character of Sultan Salahuddin, nobody can defame him. Even when American have made a film on him, they were not able to defame him because he is uh, the symbol of love, peace, and brotherhood. Ma'am, Hanan, ma'am, can you throw light on this Umar Pact and Sultan Salahuddin?
I didn't get the question very well. If you can summarize it and tell me.
Tell
We
us
just we
about
have a time
Umar
problem.
Pact.
Mhm.
Okay, we
Who?
Umar Pact and Sultan Salahuddin.
Mm, okay. And what I have to talk about them to see how they.
Tell us about the historical importance of Umar Pact.
Well, when Omar came to Palestine and there was a church and he kept the church for the people and he talked about tolerance and the sisterhood, brotherhood between Christian and Muslim and never, and he was example. He never let anybody to touch or to interfere. And this is sign of kind of democracy and equality between the nation, between the religious sides. So now, Salahuddin came to liberate Jerusalem, and it's a fighting, but with principles, because we do believe in our culture. Like when you fight, never touch children. When you fight, never touch civilians. You only fight against the occupation. And now, even we follow like in the south of Lebanon, they never attack any children. And in Gaza, they don't attack children. They were attacked. Their children were attacked. You see? So here is the principles that emerge from the history of Palestine. Okay, it was not Islamic country in that time, but it was the Muslim people, and they liberate Jerusalem and become as a culture as the Muslim culture, and Jerusalem was attacked from many states like Roman and other people, and what Salahuddin has done is to liberate it. Since then, okay, the people continue follow his information and rituals, and it never become like you should be controlling in a dictatorial way as Muslim. No, it is normal situation, normal states since that time. We never have any fanatic rule in Palestine, and we are continuing the same in the modern time.
Thank you, Hanam. Um,
Habibi.
can I ask Rana?
Yeah, it's
I'd
open for
like Rana just
open
to
for
say
you, my dear.
something.
Open for
Rana,
you.
can you hear me? Rana?
Yes, I can
Yes,
hear
madam.
you.
Okay, please, can you just, we don't have much time, but please, I'd like you to share with her. Please.
Yeah, thank you. First of all, organizing this a wonderful event, and we learn amazing information and heartbreaking information from Hanan, and the way our host, Dr. Sharmanan, host the event. It is a very powerful way to approach the sensitive issue, which is very close to our heart. But one thing I want to mention while we are listening inside, remember that more than 1 million people are disappear from their houses, and about 75% hospital are display from their they are not serving the community. More than 1.2 million children under age of 14 are under the stress. About 80% children of Palestine, they are not going school or colleges. There is
That's
no
true. Yes.
any health or anything for them. More than as far as the resources, more than 100,000 people die in last 1 year and 1 year and 30 days. This is the
Yes.
information we are receiving. So these are information which is coming from the as control environment in the control prison. We have a people more than a 600,000 people. They do not have a food for even 1 day. They are eating 2 meal or 3 days. So
Yes.
almost they are eating after every 18 hour a one meal. When we call the one meal, it is not a full meal. We can say that a water or one dates or
No. Yeah.
small cup of yogurt. So these things are very easy to understand, but technically they are very heartbreaking and very difficult to understand. More than 36,000 of women, the pregnant women or physically or mentally disabled women are are helpless. They do not have a proper health facility available in the hospitals. More than every fifth child in Palestine out of 10 child, out of 10 or five children, either they die during their birth or they born with a physically disability. So it is something very serious, and people like you, Nikki, and people Shamanaz and people Hannah, they- trust me, you are playing the something very positive on behalf of the entire humanity. When we speak, people for issue like this, we speak regardless our color, our belief, our faith, our language, our culture background, or our religion background. We speak for humanity. When we speak for humanity, it's not make different. They say La ilaha illallah Muhammad Rasulullah. They are
Yes.
Muslim. They
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
are Hindu. Whoever they are, we are speak right in this is in this Zoom meeting. We are more than 25 people, and we look at ourselves. We are a Muslim, we are a Sikh, we have a Hindu along us, we have a Christian along us, we have a
Yeah.
non with us, we have all believers and from a different color, different background, from people from Pakistan, from India, from
No.
Germany,
Yeah.
in Holland. People are in a one platform and have a one slogan, which is very powerful and strong message to the rest of the world that we stand for humanity, regardless our faith, our color, our background, or our language barrier. What we believe on Jesus, we believe on God, we believe in
That's
Hinduism,
true.
Christianity, whatever belief, we come together to say one thing: free Palestine, a justice for Palestine. We do not need to celebrate one day like yesterday. We, as far as United Nations said, the celebrating of the Palestine Day. No, every second, every day, every moment we have to engage ourselves, our children, our generation, our upcoming, our engagement with the Palestine, our engagement with the people who are dying every day, engagement with the people who need our voice. We need to be a voice for a people who are voiceless, who are waiting for us to raise the voice for them in our societies, in our street, in our meetings, in our conferences. We need to approach for them, for our MPs, our prime minister, our political party, our organization. We need to speak up. Trust me, this is our humanity. This is our human being. Our responsibility is not only on Hanan or Nikki Dipana or Dr. Shaminar or Talik or any of you. It is not a responsibility for one person. It is a responsibility for entire community. As per as said in our holy book, the Quran Sharif, that if one person die, it is mean the entire community die. It's mean it is we are responsible. Even not we are not killing them with the weapons or a gun, but we are killing them when we become a silent. If the day we become a silent, we will be the terrorist is all ourselves. So please keep speaking for a Palestine, regardless who you are, regardless where you are, regardless what difference you can make. Trust me, the day you become out of this fear that, oh, I'm an individual, I'm mother,
Thank you.
I can't make any difference. Trust me, you will make the difference. You all are making difference. Thank you. And one day we will be a witness for a free Palestine. Thank you, Hanan, for wonderful background.
Habibi, Habibi, can I answer? Oh, my dear friend, I really, I'm so sad. I'm so influenced by your words. Thank you so much. And you go deeply to the issue. And as you said, there's no difference. If we belong to God, each one sees God in his own religion. And especially the intellectual, if they think about that in that way, the difference is no. One has to have a first of all open heart and to accept diversity and to accept different ideas and to know how to answer. If you have different ideas against you, whatever, what to answer. I thank you so much with all the numbers that you add to the issue. And this number now we are speaking, we have more numbers dying in Gaza and another part of Palestine. I thank for your determination in support the issue of Palestine and support the people of Gaza. And I hope, like you, that soon we'll welcome you in Jerusalem, the capital of Palestine, to get together, to go to the, if you want to go to the mosque, whoever want to go to the church, whoever want to look at God in his own way. Jerusalem always as it is now. Even with the occupation, we're trying to emerge our voice. It's the collective place for all the free people on the world, for the intellectuals and the writers, and all. You are very welcome. You will find the street full of flowers to welcome you.
Thank you. Dr. Franca Coloso. Yes, please.
Yes, I have written a lot. Good evening now. I have not much time because a neighbor died yesterday. I should go to visit. And I don't feel fine, yes, because of vaccination yesterday for me and a little bit of a fever. My words, I have written a lot, as you know, also on academia.edu on Palestine, but not only on Palestine, especially on Kashmir, because Kashmir was in my heart and is in my heart for a long time. So I compared Kashmir. I know it is impossible now to compare this in a situation of slaughter, and this is slaughter. But I compared the Kashmir in the past to the situation in Palestine. I know it's a little bit difficult nowadays to do this. Unfortunately, as noted so far in the many UN resolutions, because I've studied a lot about also resolution on Kashmir, the same goes to Kashmir, whose problematic situation I've studied for years, until Israel changes its mind. It means Netanyahu politics and so on. How do you imagine to change this situation? We have to speak. We have to let our voice heard. And I agree with the Tariq. Religion has destroyed this world. Absolutely, religion. Because a Christian against a Muslim against a Hindu against, at the bottom of all these situations, nowadays, there is a problem of religion. We have to find a way to secularism. A new society should be found. Why? How? Uh, As come si chiama? Our Palestinian woman, as sorry, I forgot your name, has told very well. uh, uh, we need social justice. Without social justice, we can't do anything because peace is a consequence of human rights and above all, social justice. You cannot, I have written a poem, very, very sad about the slaughter of the innocents because I think about the kids, especially kids destroyed, poor mothers. My poem is a cry, is not a simple poem, I cry. This is dishumanity. We are going to apocalypse. Unfortunately, I wrote about apocalypse of John. I don't want apocalypse of John in the Bible. Of course, I don't want it. I want peace. I want to struggle for peace. I want to struggle for social justice above all. We need this. Absolutely, we did. And we are single drops, but each of us can do something, writing, singing, as they can, as each of us can do something, because we are in a very, very bad situation.
Yeah.
And I think to people, to young people, what future? What?
Yes.
Sorry, I invite you to read my poem. If you want, I read, but I know I have not much
No
time.
problem. Yeah.
My heart is come si dice, bleeding, sanguinare. I don't remember the. Dimmi, tell me, Tarek.
Excuse me. One point I need to make clear. When I mean secular, I do not mean without religion. I mean the acceptance of
Absolutely no.
human rights, that's the basis, the humanistic version understanding of each religion is
Okay,
has
okay.
some wisdom. I personally, I want to also make this, I'm an atheist. I consider myself
I
an
know you. I know you very well.
but because I am also disturbed when people talk about religions. How about atheists? Please,
No, for me,
uh,
secularism.
so so so
Sì, sì, this
I want to make this point.
clear,
But
clear.
we will have religions, we will have etc. etc. But human values, that's the main point. Thank you.
I know, sorry, one word. I know very well your thought, your system. I am
Okay,
not, me
we
too, not against
have 1 more minute.
really, religion, not one against religion, 1 minute,
Yeah.
but against the system of
Yeah,
those
yeah.
religions,
We
especially
yeah. Dog-
monotheistic from Bible, I say, are getting
Dogmatism.
worse this no world,
Yeah, I
not
mean,
other to all religions. I am specific. I am a Christian. I am against my religion too. No, against the system.
yes. And
Yeah, I think,
besides, so-called non-religious people also committed
I think
atrocities.
we don't have time left.
True.
Nikki, I think the time is up for the another event.
Yes, the time is up. We don't have any more time.
See, one thing just I want to add, we as a human being should be against the innocent killing happening anywhere in the world, whether it is the killing of Shias in
Sure.
Parchinar or the killing of the innocent people in Ukraine or anywhere around the world. So we should, as a human being, we should
sure,
also be not
sure,
be selective. That we should
of
be
course.
selective and oppose certain killing. related
Okay.
to our caste. And this happened, Tariq sir, this happened mostly, that people become selective and they only condemn
Mm.
people when people are killed related with their religion or nationality. But we as a human being should not be selective, and we should condemn people, all the innocent killing
Sure.
happening anywhere around the world.
I
All
agree.
So
are
I think
equal in this world. Can you allow me
everybody
just
is
to
equal,
read
and
small piece?
everybody has the right to live with freedom, love, and respect.
That's true.
Freedom
Yeah.
and respect. So,
Uh,
Nikki, I
Yeah.
think you should
Excuse me,
conclude now because
Dr.
we have
Mugisho.
another event.
Dr. Mugisho is
Uh,
Uh,
Thank you very much, Tariq, for giving me the floor. Thank you, everybody, on this meeting today. The issue of peace. First of all, Dr. Mugisho. I come from DRC, the Democratic Republic of Congo, a country that is well known for a long-lasting war that has been
Yeah.
putting women into victimhood. Yeah, we need peace. Peace, this is a very, very crucial theme we have to look at with seriousness. So, all of us need peace no matter our religious beliefs. Every human being, when we are created, we should be enjoying the same rights. And
Mm-hmm.
one of those basic rights is peace. Without peace, we can't
nice.
do anything in whatever we are doing. So we need peace, and we must start uh, developing peace with ourselves individually. When we have
Mm-hmm.
peace in ourselves, then we can decide to spread it around us, to spread it to the environment, to spread it among the people with us. When we lose that aspect of seeing another human being as another human being, that is where people start slaughtering them others. We have, if a person offends us, for example, we must be able to separate the mistake from that human being. Then in that case, we can still teach, we can still help the human being to become a real individual that we can teach to become a normal person. The case of Palestine is very, very heartbreaking. When we see what is happening, nothing is being nothing is being protected. Children suffer, mothers suffer, trees, stones, even the air, everything is damaged. So this is unacceptable. And I think, as I think it's Hanan who said it, all of us, we should do everything we can where we are. If we can't speak, we can make noise. If we can't make noise, we can make anything that can call upon those leaders of the world, because they are somehow the one who are causing this, not only in Palestine, but also in my country, DRC. We see people are keeping quiet, yet they have the power, the full power to change everything. So we have, all of us, in our means, we have to do everything we can so that we can bring peace. We need peace. Those who are bringing the peace, those who are breaking the peace of others, those who are killing the peace, they need peace. We also need peace. If they only need peace, but they take our peace, then that is something wrong. We should make sure every human being and the environment around us, of course, all of us need peace. Thank you very much.
Thank you. I think what you say is right. All the struggle, why we struggle, in order to achieve the goals and then come in peace. Otherwise, if the goal is not achieved and the killing is continue, what kind of peace we are talking about? It is the dream of every child in Palestine, of everybody, even not only the children, the women, everybody, to have peace with justice to flourish in Palestine. And, things will be completely different. I hope so. After all this discussion, what is going to see? If you allow me just to read a short piece, my dear friends, which can describe what's going on. What shall I
Yes,
say to the
sure,
whole?
sure.
Sorry, can I?
Yes,
Can I?
yes, yes. Go
Yeah.
ahead.
Ah,
We have to go because there's another Zoom coming on. in the
1 minute.
space.
Huh? I
Yeah.
will just say 1 minute. 1 minute. I will try. Okay. What? This is a scream of my poem called Blood Obsidium. Then after I say, what shall I say to the call for embrace and the cries of the tortured childhood with the wounds of terrorism? Are we human beings or merely a glowing destiny bird from existence? Do we have right to live, or our right is engraved on the tombs of death without shroud? What does it mean to live in a time of death and doors are open for immigration? What does it mean to be a Palestinian? And what does it mean to be a Palestinian or insist to be a Palestinian and that you want to remain a Palestinian? Your flesh is torn into pieces to be
Voice, please.
Thank you.
Voice, Hanan dear, your voice has gone. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. The last 2, 3 sentences we
Okay.
didn't hear.
What does it mean? You live in a time of death and doors are open for immigration. What does it mean to be a Palestinian? What does it
The voice has gone.
to be a Palestinian or insist to be that you want to remain Palestinian and your flesh is torn into pieces to be a bird insurgent or a missing master or a master who has missed?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you, everybody. This has been such an inspiring session for all of us.
Thank you.
Blessings to everyone.
Thank you.
Bye
Thank
bye.
you.
Bye bye,
Thank
everybody.
you, Tariq sir, for introducing Hanan Awwad to us. Thank you, sir. If you
Thank you.
know some more Palestinian writer, please do introduce with us.
I will. Yeah.
I'm sure Hanan
Thank
will.
you.
Thank you so much. Lovely to meet you. Waiting
Bye
in
bye.
contact, inshallah. Bye
Yes.
bye.
Inshallah.
Bye.
We're together. We're together. I enjoy
Yes,
saying
we are
this.
together as always. Thank you, Tari, my dear historic friend, and all the others.
Bye, ma'am.
Bye bye, Hariti. Bye bye.
Allah Hafiz, Hanan Awwad.
Bye. Bye, Tarek. Bye, Ada. Bye,
Bye bye.
Burkhard.
Bye bye.
Bye,
Thank
Nikki.
you, everyone.
Ciao a tutti. Bye. Have a
Bye.
nice evening.
Bye.
Thank you.
Thanks.
And yeah, and I'd like to contact Dr. Mugisha from Congo.
Ah,
I will ask for his contact address, please, later on.
yeah.
Thank you.
Very interesting.
Please, my dear friend, send me your contacts so I follow up with you.
Okay, thank you.
Voglio dire, excuse me, Ada voleva dire qualcosa. Ada wanted to tell something, and do you want to tell something concluding this Zoom? Ada Rizzo is.
Good evening to all. Thank you to Nicky De Pina for inviting me in this meeting. I have more impressive from the words of Anna, and I must underline how is very, very important that the peace is strictly connected with the defense of human rights. And I think that the process of peace is a long process, but everyone, like a drop, can do something for this.
Yeah.
It's most important that in this situation, also, yes, also with dialogue in mediation are essential, because peace cannot be imposed but must arise from negotiation and compromises. The testimony of Anna we will hear today can serve as a starting point for dialogue within the involved community. We cannot forget the role of the international community in promoting peace. I think also that is most important consider the sustainability of peace. It should not only based on the cessation of hostility, but must address the root causes of the conflict, such as, I think, social justice, access to the resources, and human dignity. I also want to underline the crucial role of women in peace processes. Women bring diverse perspectives and can be change agents within their communities. Finally, if possible, I would like to mention some cooperation in peace projects between Israel and Palestine, such as cultural exchange program or economic cooperation. This is most important. And I think that also in my position, I am a poetess and a writer too, it's possible to do something for peace because I write for peace, because my poems speak about peace, because I think that literature and poetry are a language, in universal language that speaks to the heart of people. These words of poets and writer can bring bridges and break down walls without boundaries. Thank you to all of you for attention.
Thank you
Bravo.
so much.
Thank you, dear. Thank you. Good evening to all of you. Ciao, Ada.
Good evening to all. Thank you for attention. I'm very honored to be here in this
attend.
important.
Yes. Thank you to you, Tarek Günersel from Turkey, and all my friends here.
Yeah, thank you, Nikki. Thank you, Dr. Shaminas. Thank you all.
Ciao. Bye-bye.
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 Bye.
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 Bye.